In a world without power, knowledge is your greatest weapon. Welcome to Grid Down Guide. Survive and thrive. Learn essential skills. Build resilience. Grid Down Guide. Your survival starts here.
Welcome to the Grid Down Guide, your essential survival strategy resource. In this episode, we'll discuss one of the most dangerous scenarios you can face: an economic collapse. We'll break down how everything from stock markets to global trade is intertwined with technology, and how a loss of power and internet could send the world into a long-term economic depression. Let's start with the basics. In today's interconnected world, our entire financial system relies heavily on technology. Stock markets, banks, digital transactions, and even supply chains, every part of the economy requires power and the internet to function. Without these, the financial mechanisms that fuel our modern society would break down. Stock exchanges are based on real-time data, constantly transmitting information and enabling the buying and selling of stocks in milliseconds. In a grid-down scenario, this all collapses. No power means no data, and no data means no transactions. The same goes for digital payments. Gone are the days of swiping credit cards or making quick bank transfers. Instead, we're left with cash, and if you can't access your money, you're in deep trouble. Now imagine a world where not only the stock markets freeze, but global trade does as well. In a grid-down scenario, cargo ships, freight planes, and trucks rely on fuel that needs to be tracked, dispatched, and fueled in real time. Without internet and power, even the most basic logistical systems stop. Supply chains are designed to work around the clock, often relying on digital tools to track goods, communicate orders, and manage inventory. A massive disruption in this infrastructure would lead to shortages, particularly of essential goods like food, medicine, and raw materials. Prices would skyrocket due to scarcity, and nations would scramble to provide for their own citizens, often at the expense of international relations. As countries focus on internal needs, trade agreements could collapse, leading to even more severe shortages. The world would essentially be isolated, each nation left to fend for itself in a global market gone dark. Now let's talk about the immediate effects on financial systems. Without internet access or electricity, banking systems, both physical and digital, would grind to a halt. Think about how much we rely on digital records to access our accounts, make transactions, or even track loans. The entire system becomes vulnerable. Even the largest banks with their secure cloud-based infrastructures would no longer be able to function. The immediate effects would be a complete freeze on withdrawals, making any form of access to your money impossible. For people who rely on online banking or mobile apps for payments, the implications would be catastrophic. In this environment, a bartering economy could emerge, but it wouldn't be easy. Not everyone would have something of equal value to exchange. And those who do might find their goods worthless as basic services like healthcare or food become increasingly inaccessible. Let's dive a little deeper into the financial impacts of this collapse. As financial institutions break down, inflation would likely surge. With the world's markets frozen and no access to goods or services, prices would rise drastically. This would be compounded by the scarcity of cash. Fewer people would be able to make payments, and what little currency remained would be worth far less. Hyperinflation is a real risk. It's a phenomenon where the value of currency spirals out of control, and everyday items become more expensive by the hour. In a world without functioning economies, where supply chains are broken and goods are scarce, hyperinflation could wipe out the savings of millions of people in the blink of an eye. What would the world look like after this initial collapse? The result is clear: a long-term economic depression. Without functioning financial systems, governments would struggle to support their populations. Unemployment would soar, businesses would fail, and the global economy would plunge into a state of complete disarray. Recovery would take decades, and many countries might never fully bounce back. Social unrest would be inevitable. As people realize that their access to food, water, and basic resources is uncertain, the fight for survival would overshadow everything else. Governments would likely turn to authoritarian measures to try to maintain control, but the truth is, no system would remain unaffected. An economic collapse isn't just about numbers and markets, it's about survival. As we've seen, the ripple effects are far-reaching and devastating. Being prepared means more than knowing how to secure your home. It means understanding the larger picture and the forces at play. Stay tuned for more episodes of the Grid Down Guide, where we'll continue to explore essential survival strategies.
Prepare now. Hands urgently pack emergency survival kit. Survive anything. Subscribe now. Grid Down Guide.